So why is it so important that a community become wireless from a business point of view?
Puts everybody on a level playing field, Terry. I mean, today, businesses throughout this country and in South Orange County, we see a lot of small business owners making their way, and a digital community, a wireless community, is going to allow small business owners now to utilize the wireless platform to start promoting their businesses and start competing on a level playing field with the large juggernaut companies that have for such a long time.
When you're talking to municipal leaders, where's the resistance coming from? What do they see as being wrong with this whole idea?
Well, I think a couple things. Number one, I think first of all, city leaders are trying to understand, well, how does it fit? What's its real purpose? And as much as I don't want to say this, the truth is that several cities are looking at it simply for political prowess. How can they take advantage of this technology movement to create more excitement within communities? We also believe that city leaders need to step back and understand that are they making the right evaluations when they're evaluating these service providers, because it's not about the technology and having access to the internet. It's about what happens when this network's deployed, and how can the city start embracing it so that we can start empowering our communities again. And when we start empowering our communities, we're going to start creating talent. And when we start creating talent, we're going to start creating a new infrastructure for culture and value. And that's what the focus should be, is the power of this network once it's been deployed, and how we start leveraging its power to start building our economies from within. Our local cities are so dependent upon state and federal aid, and we're at a point right now with technology that technology should be now used as a tool to start spearheading economic development by allowing our small businesses to flourish, to start training our children, what we call the digital natives, on how to use the power of the internet and a wireless community to start creating jobs and to start creating some excitement back into the communities, things that have been lost in the last 5 years.
In a very kind of a practical way, taking an application that's being used now and maybe other ways, Denise, talk about Amber Alert and how this kind of fits into the idea of what would happen if a community was wireless.
Well, the Amber Alert is there for the people. I mean, and actually it's the public safety side of it that utilizes it. You see all the signs up on the freeways, sure. And people getting into car accidents because they have to read this. But I think if you have it on your computer, I think they can access it quicker. If a child has been abducted, you can get that information out there. You can get the picture out there. I get alerts all the time, from different states even, on the internet, through email though. So if this portal were to come into play, it would be instant. And they would have the pictures, they would have the information, and everybody would know about it in that community right away. So instead of waiting for your emails to come through or checking your emails, you get an alert, So I think in that respect, I think it's a lot quicker. Maybe we can find these children before, something really dangerous or something really bad happens to them.
Okay, and that's another reason why we want the service providers to start, again, focusing beyond the technology and what the application benefits are. And as we start talking about community safety again, if we can have our service provider partners find new technological ways to create applications that are specifically tied to community safety, or specifically tied to a package that can give a small business owner, that allows a small business to start finding ways to use the network to flourish its business, and really start training our children and start training our leaders that technology is going to be a central part of its governance plan. It's not just about internet access.
One of the things that I think some people in some communities are familiar with are things like Ladera Ranch, for instance, has a portal. Everybody who moved into the town was introduced to this portal, and now they have this means to communicate. Is that sort of what you're talking about?
Absolutely, and that's part of a product that we offer at the Wireless City, is our Lifestyle Inspirations virtual community marketplace, and essentially it is a intranet portal. And this portal was designed for several reasons, and primarily not only just information access, but it was also designed for social networking, to start building communities within communities and cultures within communities. I go back to this whole thing of identity. The portal is going to allow cities to really give birth and acceleration to the identity of what that city represents. And the portal is going to allow for an online marketplace and a community to grow. And part of that portal, and another big role that Denise is playing in, is the safety component. And she'll talk to you in a minute about how that affects public safety and communication with the courts. But from a community safety side, we're going to be, this portal will have a new online broadcast network, internet radio, and those will be new tools on the public or on the community safety side that Denise is going to spearhead. And our goal is to utilize this portal to provide remedies to start to create solutions against domestic violence and child abductions.
And when we come back, we'll have Denise talk about those things and how they are integrated into the wireless city. So don't go away. Welcome back to Cox Forum. Tonight we're talking about the wireless city and all of its implications. And as we were ending that last segment, we started to talk about how this whole concept can be used for public safety. Denise, how does that all work in together? What's your vision of what this means for public safety?
Well, for me, it's the child molesters that are out there, the pedophiles that are out there. They will not be able to communicate, and that's what we're going to create, a safe environment for our children to communicate. Say the city of Irvine or Long Beach or Laguna Beach, they're going wireless. The kids in that community, they can communicate with the other children from the school. They don't have to go on these worldwide webs, and God knows who they're talking to. God knows who they're communicating with. So we're going to, the sex offenders, the child molesters, we are going to try to stop those people from getting in touch with our children. And that's what this whole portal is all about, so that we can create a safer environment for them.
It's interesting because we think so much about the internet and it's a worldwide reach, but indeed what you're talking about is how it can actually create stronger ties within
the city. Sure. Yeah, and then you don't have these people. If they're registered sex offenders, they are not able to log on. And they will not be able to do that.
Just a quick clarity on the portal. It basically means that once a city's networked, the homepage pops up, and the homepage pops up as our Lifestyle Inspirations portal that will be co-branded or licensed to the city for the city's use.
You've got an upcoming conference. So
yes.
What is this about? And who's supposed to come and all those kinds of things?
Oh, we're thrilled. Essentially, the conference is going to be on June 19th and 20th over at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City. And the whole premise behind it is how technology, in this case municipal wireless networks, will help reshape communities. And our effort to attract city leaders from all over Southern California is very aggressive. In fact, we've taken our efforts up to the state of California and the governor's office. In fact, I just received a phone call today, Terry, from the Office of Education, and how it's a very strong initiative at the state level to start looking at how technology can play a greater role within our schools. And that's another benefit of this whole wireless network, is how it's going to benefit schools and the development of children through the use of the internet.
About a minute left. Denise, how can people get involved with this whole idea of lifestyles inspirations?
Well, it's at thewirelesscity.org. And they can contact us and contact Glenn and get more information about it. But to come to the conference and to really become educated, and I think everything is about education and awareness anyway, regardless of what it is. And I think that city leaders, they don't really know what the whole ramifications and what the whole thing of the wireless city is. So I think for them to come to a conference like that and really to get educated and how their communities can benefit from it, yeah. I think would be a plus.
In fact,
for all cities.
We just found out that it's the only conference that's ever talked about the post-deployment side. So for a city leader that wants to understand more about what the benefits of having your city wireless once it's been deployed, this is a conference to attend.
Mm-hmm. And again, for information about that?
Thewirelesscity.org.
Very good. Thanks very much to both of you for being with us tonight.